Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 7, text 133. Emata prati sutre saha chartha chadiya gaunartha vyakhya kare kalpana kariya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. To prove their philosophy, the members of the Mayavad school have given up the real, easily understood meaning of the Vedic literature and introduced indirect meanings based on their imaginative powers. So Lord Chaitanya is saying, instead of just taking the direct meaning of the Vedas, if we misinterpreting it, we are indirect meaning, if we are imagining something that no, this is not what it is, it should mean something else, then we are mistaken. Unfortunately, the Shankarite interpretation has covered almost the entire world. Therefore, there is a great need to present the original, easily understood natural import of the Vedic literature. So, almost all of us are so covered by this impersonalist philosophy, thinking God does not exist, or that I'm God, or thinking I will become God. This is so deep in us. It's so deep in us. Why? Because because it's our desire. So that's why we easily take up to it. That is our original desire for us to be in the material world, to try to imitate God and envy of God. So, but to help us understand what's the truth, we need the correct Vedic literature. We need to have the original Vedic literature without any interpretation, without any indirect meaning. So we have therefore begun by presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is, and we propose to present all the Vedic literature in terms of the direct meaning of its words. And due to this, Srila Prabhupada, he translated the Bhagavad Gita as it is, without putting his imagination, his interpretation, or anything. He said, this is what Krishna is saying. That's it. And we can see, because of Bhagavad Gita as it is, thousands and thousands of people are becoming God conscious. Thousands and thousands of people, if not millions, are becoming lovers of God, because he has presented to us the Vedic literature as it is, without any imagination or misinterpretation. Emate prati-sutre karena dushana, shuni chamatkar haila sannyasi rangana. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed for each and every sutra the defects in Shankaracharya's explanations, all the assembled Mayavadi sannyasis were struck with wonder. So all this explanation, it's because this pastime was that at Varanasi, the Mayavadi sannyasis are there, Lord Chaitanya is there, they're telling him, why you're just singing and chanting and dancing like a fanatic. But they understood he's Narayan, so they wanted to hear the Vedanta Sutra from him. And so all this, Lord Chaitanya has been explaining the Vedanta Sutra as it is to them. And now they are, wow, this is what it really means. Satla sannyasi kahe shunaha Shripad, tumi khandile artha e nahe vivad. All the Mayavadi sannyasis said, Your Holiness, kindly know from us that we actually have no quarrel with your refutation of these meanings, for you have given a clear understanding of the sutras. So these sannyasis, they appreciated Lord Chaitanya's explanation because they could understand that this is a clear explanation. There's no indirect, there is no word jugglery. When we try to cover up something, we can come to know. But if it is clear, this is what it is. It's very attractive. We can understand it easily. So, Acharya Kalpita Artha Iha Sabejani Sampradaya Anurode Tabutahamani. We know that all this word jugglery springs from the imagination of Shankaracharya, and yet because we belong to his sect, we accept it, although it does not satisfy us. So here they are being truthful. They are saying, see, we are following this philosophy of Shankaracharya, but in our heart, it does not clarify all the doubts. It does not satisfy our heart. The truth satisfies our heart. Krishna, when we hear Krishna Katha, that satisfies our heart. When we are hearing Bhagavad Gita as it is, because it's word of God. But if we manipulate it, we put some meaning to it, we interpret it, it's not going to bring any satisfaction. It's just some jugglery to get a lot of followers and a lot of attention. Then Mukhyartha Vakya Kara Dekhi Tomar Bala Mukhyarthe La Gala Prabhu Sutra Sakala. Now let us see the Mayavadi sannyasis continue. How well you can describe the sutras in terms of their direct meaning. Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began his direct explanation of the Vedanta Sutra. Brahad Vastu Brahma Kahi Shri Bhagavan Sad Vidheshwarya Purna Paratattva Dham. Brahman, who is greater than the greatest, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is full in six opulences, and therefore he is the reservoir of ultimate truth and absolute knowledge. So here, Lord Chaitanya is giving them the clear, direct meaning of the Vedanta Sutra. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the absolute truth is understood in three phases of realization: the impersonal Brahman, the localized Paramatma, and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Bhagavatam tells us that the great transcendentalists understand God in three features: Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwan iti Shabdayate. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. They all three are absolute truth. Bhagwan is the person God, Brahman is the light coming from his body, and Paramatma is his feature by which he is pervading this entire universe. He's there in our heart in his Paramatma feature. He's in every atom in his Paramatma feature. We say God is omnipresent. He's omnipresent by this Paramatma feature. But it doesn't mean he's not a person. He is still a person, and he's enjoying himself in Golok Vrindavan. The impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma are expansions of the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is complete in six opulences, namely wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. Since he possesses his six opulences, the personality of Godhead is the ultimate truth in absolute knowledge. So when we say Bhagwan, means he has these six opulences in full. Nobody has them more greater than God. What are the six opulences? Wealth. Some of us may be wealthy, some of us will be more wealthier than others, some of us might be the most wealthiest. But who is the most wealthiest in all the material world, in all the spiritual world, is only Krishna. Why? Because all the world's wealth belong to him. Everything and everyone belongs to him. So only Krishna has all the wealth. Some of us may have a little portion of wealth, but Krishna has all of it. Fame. Some of us may have a little fame, someone may have a little more fame. But who is the most famous? That's Krishna. His glories are sung everywhere in the material world, in the spiritual world, everywhere. Strength, strength. We may have a little strength, a little more strength, but the most strongest is Krishna. He's omnipotent. How many potencies he has and how wonderfully they are all acting. Beauty. We have this Miss World competition, Miss Teen competition. But the most beautiful is Krishna. No one is more beautiful than him. Knowledge. We may memorize a few verses here and there, but Krishna, he has complete knowledge. He's the original speaker of the Vedas. He's the original speaker of the Vedas. And renunciation, in spite of having all this, we have little fame, little wealth, little strength, little beauty. We get so proud. We get so attached to it. We don't want to give it up. We are scared it was going to go away. We don't want to share it. We want to keep it for ourselves. Krishna is renounced. In spite of having these opulences, it doesn't matter to him. Since he possesses his 6 opulences, the personality of Godhead is the ultimate truth in absolute knowledge. So Krishna is God, and he has the 6 opulences in full, and that's why he is God. And the Brahma Jyoti, the Brahman, is the light which is coming from his body. And by the Paramatma feature, he is accompanying us in this material world, and he has entered into every atom of the universe. We say God is omnipresent. He is omnipresent in this Paramatma feature. And yet he is Bhagwan. He's there in the spiritual world. It doesn't mean because he has become the Paramatma, his original form of Krishna is not there. No, it's there. It's eternal. Krishna's form is eternal. Is that all right? So we have to hear about him. The more we hear about him, the more we will be able to understand him. Because devotional service begins by hearing. When we are hearing about Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, from Bhagavatam, that is the beginning of devotional service. And Krishna says, it's only by devotional service that I can be understood. He says that only by devotional service. So we need to hear and we need to chant. The more we hear and chant, the more we will be able to understand God and our relationship with him. Is that okay?
Yes, okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll stop here for today. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.